Hello there, Great 108s. Coach Tina here. Happy Monday. It is Monday motivational time. And, it's summer. It's summer in Oklahoma. And it made me think that probably a lot of us are switching into our summer roles, whatever that means. And, it's a different feeling, isn't it? When you hit the summer and it's just kids are out of school, we're relaxing. It feels like life is semi going back to normal and all is all is moving forward just like it was before, right? What I notice is people are really super busy and I want to say a little bit overwhelmed. So I don't know if maybe that's just me and my experiences, but I'm feeling I think here's my take on it. When we did COVID, we all got to baseline and created a new baseline. Like prior to COVID, my life was crazy all the time, running here and there, doing that. COVID hits, we baseline out at a much lower, slower pace, resetting of priorities, things are different. And now we are back to normal, but now we have that new baseline that said, hey, life was kind of nice, just slow and relaxed and different. And now everything's 90 for nothing again. And it feels kind of like, I don't like that pace. I like the old pace or the new pace, however you want to look at it. So it's good. It means a redefining of lines and boundaries and what's important in your life. So that's kind of where I am. Um, but it also marks the ability for me to go out and do things again. And kind of bittersweet. When COVID started, I was on a track of going to a beach. We had a plan to go to Florida in February. And then on a whim in January, I think we went to California. And it was, so I was like, oh, January of 2020 and February of 2020, each month I went to a beach. So maybe all of 2020, I'll make it a goal to go to a beach every month. So I was pretty excited. Of course, when COVID hit in March, that got taken away from us. In fact, I had a trip planned and I didn't get to go. And I would have gone to the beach in March. So that changed. And the whole time we've been in this weird state, all I could think about is I really miss the beach. So, good news is next week I will be in Los Angeles. Literally, when the plane touches the ground, I'm renting a car and I'm driving first to the beach. And I'm going to stick my feet in the water and I'm going to let the sun just calm me down. And I'm going to recharge with the ocean, which I love the ocean, you guys. I always have. I'm from California in the not I wasn't born there, but I grew up there and I've always been away from California beaches since I went to college and all that stuff. Always drawn to them. And I've been to a lot of other beaches and other beaches are gorgeous, but there's just something about the LA beaches. I don't know. So, going to go and experience that next week and I'm super excited. Other than that, what new stuff is going on? I'm still working on my course. I think it's just a new thing for me to always be working on a course or putting some pieces of it together. And I'm going to hit the magic formula at some point. Some of you also know that I have been building a tribe. So I have a Facebook group. My hope is to grow it quite a bit. And this for the rest of the year, I have 6-month goals set up. The cool thing is the group that I'm a part of that is teaching us how to build our communities. They started a program where we have full-time VAs. And so I'm experiencing being multiplied and having somebody else help me out. So that has been a huge plus. And then, of course, I'm getting ready for the World Summit in August and all that's going to come with that. I'll probably have the affiliate um, thing going on as well. So that's cool. And then um, the life coaching that I do, we have a new e-learning platform that started, and that's been really cool. We're just in the setting up stages, and it's an accountability tool. So it kind of feels like all these big goals that I have now. I have the electronic means to keep up track of everything and to monitor that I'm making progress. So I'm kind of cool. Like I think that's going to be a, a life changer. So excited about that. And then the other thing that happened that I thought you guys would appreciate is one of the groups that I'm a part of, we had a symposium, and the one of the guests at the symposium was a book publisher, and she had worked with the Napoleon Hill Foundation for years, and then recently was given the opportunity to edit his latest book. So they just published it January of 2021, and it's called Outwitting the Devil. So Napoleon Hill obviously wrote Think and Grow Rich in 1937, okay? And apparently the year after he was inspired to write Outwitting the Devil, and it was very interesting. So 1938, so Depression era, right? What he did is Think and Grow Rich was from all the people he interviewed that were successful. But in that same thread, he also interviewed people that were not successful. So Outwitting the Devil is actually an interview sequence that he does with someone that he calls the devil, and the devil has to tell him the truth. And it's a question and answer format, very similar to when he does the councils where he has the groups of people and he's interviewing the devil, and the devil tells him 7 principles of overcoming failure. And how cool is that, right? It was very interesting. He talks about this concept called drifting, and there's those of us that just drift through life and just get in this kind of rhythmic hypnosis of not moving forward, being stuck and just doing what the rest of the world does. And then there are those of us who do not drift. And he says only 2 out of every 100 people are non drifters. They think for themselves, and that's really a key component. He said, the devil says that people who think outside of what the rest of the world is telling them to think are the ones who are successful. So it totally reminded me of the Tony Robbins environment, Dean's thinking. And so it's kind of cool. The 7 principles, of course, make sense, right? They're not anything um, earth shattering, but they're quite intriguing. I'll tell you them really quick. I wrote them down. Let me see. So the first one is definiteness of purpose. So basically, having a plan, going after it, and knowing your why is key to everything. So boom, we have that, right? And then there's the self discipline, and then learning from adversity. And he talks about that every time we fail, there's a seed that's provided for us that if we make the effort, we actually will have equal or greater success at implementing it. So I love that whole concept. And then our environment is super important. Are we putting ourselves around people who are building us up and inspiring us? Yes. Time, of course, is a major issue. And then harmony. Love this one about harmony. Harmony is basically the having people around you that are resonating in the same thinking style. And then the last one is caution, that we need to be cautious, not overly cautious, but cautious in not just doing willy nilly, whatever we feel like, but cautious with a plan and then of having that definiteness of purpose. So I'm thinking I'm going to write a course on all of this. In fact, it's really cool. There was an entire section in that definiteness of purpose of what we should do for schools and how schools should change. Now, think about this. This is 1938. So a lot of the stuff that he talks about, I can see the influence now, however many years later, right? It's kind of crazy to think about. But and by the way, the reason why the book wasn't published right after Think and Grow Rich was that his wife didn't feel comfortable with the subject matter. She didn't like that he had access to the devil. And so she had made him not publish it. And so it's been sitting in a vault. And I don't know what the circumstances were that finally brought it forward, but that's the reason why it waited so long to get out. But looking at this list of things that students or schools should do to help students, my background is education. And when I read that, I was like, ooh, there's some really good points on here. And here's the cool thing, I'm doing a podcast this week for an organization in Oklahoma called LoveWorks, and um, they're what they do is an after school program for sixth through eighth graders. And they interview someone each month, and they have a like helping the kids with an idea that you've taken from childhood all the way forward. So I'm going to try to implement some of these key points into that presentation in the podcast so that I can see what kind of spirit I can put behind the kids. It's really my thinking on it. So I'll share the podcast when it comes out later this week. Kind of fun. One of my first speaking engagements. So I hope you guys have a blessed week. I know that I'm moving forward with lots of fun. And next week, maybe I'll send you a picture from the beach. Can't wait. All right. Take care.